the Tree of Woe show is back with another WWE Smackdown review, just like every other Friday. Anyways, the show kicks off tonight with your boy John Laurinaitis starting out in the ring. All the wrestlers are outside the ring. All the jobbers. You got all the faces. But anyways, he talks about how Triple H has lost control on Raw, and he will not let this happen to SmackDown. And without further ado, please welcome the new World Heavyweight Champion. Mark Henry comes out just trucking. He got all the guys clearing the way for him. Yeah, you better move. Anyways, he is convincing as a champion so far. I mean, when he talks, you believe what he's saying. He goes in there and talks about how it took him 15 years to win this title. And it's going to take 15 more for someone to beat it off, to take it off me. And then he said a quote that stuck in my head. He said, "No man here can take it off of him," which makes me wonder, will my prediction of The Undertaker returning to face Mark Henry come to pass? But we all knew there would not be an opening segment of importance without God. Triple H comes out to the ring. He gets the microphone from Mark Henry. But before he can say a word, our little pal Christian interrupts, just being his annoying little self. Telling, "Oh, you're doing a great job, Triple H. Just congrats. But just so you know, I'm kind of a big deal around here. And if you really want a true face of SmackDown to carry the title, it needs to be me. I mean, Mark Henry, do you see his face on billboards? Can you see him reading to a bunch of school children?" And in my head, I said, I really can't, because I don't think he can read, as we mentioned before. So Christian has a valid point there in my mind. And of course, Christian says he deserves how many more matches? 3 more matches. 1 more match. So Triple H says, "Alright, deal. Tonight, lumberjack match for the World Heavyweight title. You against Mark Henry. Winner will face Randall Keith Orton at Hell in a Cell." Sounds like a deal to me. For the build. First match of the night, we get the Great White Sheamus taking on Heath Slater, or as the broadcast called it, Ronald McDonald versus the chick from Wendy's. I think that Sheamus looks more like Beaker from the Muppets. That's just a personal presence. But I was excited tonight because they actually mentioned the fact that Sheamus is a 2-time WWE champion. Funny how now that he's a face, it's okay to mention that he is a 2-time WWE champion. All those times, they didn't seem to mention it. This match, just as you imagine, just to get Sheamus over, not very long. Sheamus wins by brogue kick. Moving on. We then see Christian backstage in the first of many segments of the same magnitude here, as he's at this point trying to convince the Great Khali to help him in the main event. Khali's not really having it. He just kind of makes fun of him. They can't really understand what. Yeah, there will be more of these things to come. Next match. I love these two guys. Wade Barrett, securely, in my fave 5, taking on Justin Gabriel. He's on the edge of edge of glory in my fave 5. Pretty much just building off the fact that Gabriel's the one that got the pin on Wade Barrett in that tag match. So, whatever. Wade Barrett wins as he should by Wasteland. Nothing really else to it. That's all that happens in that one. And then we get a backstage segment with the greatest promo cutter of all time, Randy Orton. What did he have to say to us today? That he will go through hell to get his title back. Find out in 9 days if that comes to pass. And then another one in the Christian backstage episodes, this time with Ezekiel Jackson asking for help. And none of these guys seem too excited about this prospect, but he's sure willing to ask. The next match was probably the thriller of the night as AJ and Caitlyn took on Beth and Natalya. And it's like, okay, I get what you're trying to do with these girls. But at some point, the whole Divas of Destruction thing is going to wear off if Beth keeps losing to Kelly. So at some point, you either gotta, I don't know if they really thought this through when they were thinking about it, because it's like, you built them up to be so destructive and they lose to Kelly. Like, who's really believing that it's happening in the real world? So they either gotta, finish this off or just cut it off. I don't know what they're doing here. And Justin King, couldn't find him. Mike Chioda. Smoking the Mike Chioda, eh? He's relegated to Divas duties now. No Justin King sighting. I don't know where that guy is. If you see Justin King, call me. Anyways, Beth pins AJ, glam slam. So they are so dominant against AJ, but they can't beat Kelly. Whatever. And then, ooh, this next match. If you read the spoilers, you were looking forward to how this played off on TV as much as I was, and that was former World Heavyweight Champion and number one contender Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, Intercontinental Champion. Now, Randy Orton comes out without the title, and I'm excited, because the title is this, no title's this. He just got up there and SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 stared at people. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? People want to see the pose, Randall. Didn't do it, but that was not the story. Cody Rhodes wins by disqualification as Randy Orton, midway through the match, rips his mask off, hits Cody with the mask numerous times, and then hits him with the ring bell, and Cody is gushing blood, busted open everywhere, blood all over the place. And of course, in typical Randy Orton fashion, picks him up onto the announce table, RKO. Table just says this. Nothing. Doesn't break. Can't say we're surprised at that, right? But there was blood. Cody Rhodes was bleeding badly. And I mean, it was all over Orton. I'm surprised they didn't cut out more than they did. But yeah, so this was just crazy to see. And it's just like, the crowd was feeling it. The crowd was going nuts for this. And it just made me think, Randy Orton is better as a heel. We all can agree on this. Randy Orton fans, people that don't like Randy Orton, we can agree on this. But it's dawning on me now. The fans are cheering him like he's John Cena for when he does all this crazy stuff, like tonight, that should be done by heels. So now it's like, what's a heel turn for Randy Orton? Are they going to boo him because he starts being nice to people? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, most time heel turn would be someone doing stuff like this that makes the crowd turn on him, but the crowd's loving this, so he needs to start shaking hands with people, I guess. People will boo him. That'll be his heel turn. It'll be nice, Randy Orton. Anyway, so that was a crazy segment. And then a backstage segment with Christian again, this time asking Sheamus for help. But he brought help this time. He gave Sheamus a potato. Because we all know Ireland is famous for its potatoes. Idaho, Utah, we're close. We understand. We're down with Potato Nation. So he gets Ireland mixed up with Idaho, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. He just still asks people for help. And then the next match, we got the Great Khali, who I really wish would never be on my television set again, unless I'm watching The Longest Yard. Even then, it's a little stretch. Taking on Jinder Mahal, his former leader. Oh, Jinder. And in a match that didn't really matter, Great Khali wins, giving Jinder Mahal what I believe is his first loss. I think it's his first singles competition loss. So, there you go. And then we get Sin Cara, Mystico, aka the original Sin Cara, taking on your boy D-Bryan. Not my boy D-Bryan. I don't like D-Bryan. But they have a pretty good match. And then just as real Sin Cara is about to go up top for the win, imposter Sin Cara comes out and shoves him off the turnbuckle, does his own little swanton bomb, steals the victory. How dare he steal real Sin Cara's victory? So Sin Cara wins. So they're just building upon Sin Cara, whether it happens at Hell in a Cell or Vengeance or wherever it happens, it's going to happen, so you prepare yourselves. And then we get Christian's final segment of asking someone for help, and he's standing outside Randy Orton's locker, and you're thinking, there's no way he's asking Randall Keith Orton. But we get a very happy-faced Zack Ryder come out, and he tells Zack, hey, I need your help. And Zack Ryder, he's far too busy talking on the phone to Hugh Jackman. He's not having it. Off to the thing. Then we get Air Boom versus the Usos. Usos back on TV.com. It happened. Exciting match. A lot of high spots we can get from these two teams. Building on the tag teams again. Finally getting the Usos, the ones that were helped starting this whole getting the tag teams back. Good to see them in a match again. That's good. But as you can expect, Air Boom wins. They're the champions. Look strong. Same thing. Hits the Trouble in Paradise and then Airborne off the top rope for the win. Nothing wrong with that, in my eyes. Then we get to the main event. Lumberjack match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Champion Mark Henry versus poor Christian. He just wants one more match, and he got it tonight, brother. They, normal lumberjack match. People fall out of the ring, they beat him up, and attempt to beat up Mark Henry, and he's not having that. Beat up Christian, whatever. So Christian at one point, or the way they, back and forth. The way the match ends, Christian's running down the ramp. Sheamus says, "Not in my house. I'll fight him. If I'll fight him, you'll fight him." Throws him into the ring. World's Strongest Slam. 1, 2, 3. Mark Henry retains the World Heavyweight Championship and will face Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell. So, it's helping with the Christian Sheamus thing that's going on, which is good. Have him come out, interfere, build towards the Christian Sheamus match, which probably end up being sort of a number one contendership type of feud, which makes sense because who else are they going to be on SmackDown? Except for Cody, who already has the Intercontinental belt, and Wade Barrett. What are we doing with Wade Barrett? So yeah, and that's about it. And then after the match, Mark Henry's standing triumphant when Randy Orton runs down to the ring. Randy Orton's not going to get World's Strongest Slam to end 6 straight shows after he lost. So this time he gets the upper hand in a sense. Drop kicks Mark Henry. Mark Henry goes out of the ring. And they have their little stare down as that will be the World Heavyweight Championship match at Hell in a Cell in just 9 short days. Lucky us, right? Quantity over quality, as WWE always says. You gotta love it. So, in hindsight, there's not any more new announced matches, even though you can kind of get the sense, other than Mark Henry, Randy Orton, which is already announced, sorry. But you get the sense that Sin Cara versus Sin Cara will happen at Hell in a Cell. So you got the rumblings of that, along with Sheamus and Christian. This show is, the Sheamus Heath Slater match was squash match. Barrett Gabriel was pretty good for the time they were given. The Divas were the Divas. Orton Rhodes was not really a match in a sense, as it ended quickly by DQ, but that was more shock factor than anything. And just like, what are we doing on PG television right now? Great Khali Jinder. What do you really expect from that? Sin Cara Daniel Bryan helped bury Daniel Bryan even more than he already was, and it advanced the Sin Cara's storyline. So, whatever you want from that. The tag match was good. Keep the tag teams alive, and then Mark Henry Christian was more just to make Mark Henry look dominant in his first defense. So overall, SmackDown was alright. It wasn't the greatest SmackDown of all time, but it's not like I was dying for it to be over. So it entertained me for the most part. And Randy Orton, you've given us no choice. You can't turn heel anymore. You're doing heel things, man. There's no way for you to do anything. You just gotta hit the pose. I'm calling it. Randy Orton heel turn coming soon. No pose. You gotta give people what they want, Randall. I am Justin from the Tree of Woe Show. Subscribe up above if this is your first time watching us. And if it's not your first time and you're still not subscribed, go ahead and do it. Come on, man and women. Like this video, thumbs it up, comment on it. Tell me if you agree with things I've said, that Randy Orton's heel turn is going to be the Mickey Mouse and he's nice to people so they boo him. Because what else is he going to do? Share this video on Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media you have. You have a great night. I will see you on Monday for Raw. This is Justin, signing out.